everyone, and welcome to another episode of Keys to Success for Music Majors. I'm Charley Roush, and I'm a librarian here at UTRGV. I specialize in music, but I can help with any research topic.
And I'm Katrina Roush. I'm a professor of music theory here at UTRGV. And we have a special guest today, Dr. Kurt Martinez, who's a director of the School of Music at UTRGV. We're going to be asking him some questions, and he will be giving you hopefully some interesting stories and good advice. So we're really excited to have you with us, Dr. Martinez. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, we wanted to start off just by asking you a little bit about your background. So what made you decide to become a musician, and what brought you here to UTRGV?
Well, I've kind of played guitar my whole life. And when I was in sixth grade, I played French horn for 1 year. I liked it. I didn't like putting my hand in the bowl and all the spit that came out. That was about the thing the reason I didn't continue that was because of that, the spit. It kind of, but anyway, I did continue with guitar, and I always played guitar. I loved to play guitar. It was basically one of my favorite things to do. And when I got to the point in high school, I never knew, like, when people would ask me, what are you going to do when you grow up? I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. It's funny, when I was a child, and I was like 6 years old, people ask you, what are you going to be when you grow up? And I would say, I want to be a garbage man. Because you know how in those days, they used to ride on the back of the truck. I always thought that was so cool. So I was like, yeah, I want to be a garbage man when I grow up. So I didn't go that route. And I ended up started playing guitar, and I kept on doing that. And when I realized I could study music and play guitar, I thought, well, that's a really cool thing. So when I got to the Valley when I was in my last years of high school, and I finished high school here, and I actually came to then UTPA. And this was, way back when. I don't want to date myself, so I won't say exactly how long ago. So anyway, so I started college there, and I took a guitar class. Class guitar for non-majors, and it was a bunch of people just trying to play chords, and I could already play, and I went to the teacher, who was actually a trombone teacher. He wasn't like a real guitar teacher, because they didn't have guitar in those days, and the music back then, it was just a department of music, and it was very different to what it is now. There was probably maybe at most like 4 or 5 faculty members, and it was very different. So he, the professor, he told me, he's like, yeah, you're really good. You should consider studying the guitar. And I was like, yeah, I would like to do that. So I would take private lessons with him, and he was a trombone player. So this is kind of weird. I was in my 18-year-old mind. I was like, if I really want to do this, I really need to go somewhere where there's a real guitar program. So I did. I spent 1 year here, and then I applied to different places, and I ended up going to University of Miami to study guitar. And then from there, I just kept going. I kept studying. I did my master's in Georgia. And then after my master's, I went to Italy for a while. I studied there. And then I did my doctorate in University of Wisconsin, Madison. And then when I finished, I was like, so what do I do now? I have a doctorate in guitar. What am I supposed to do with this? So it just turned out that there was a job here. And I came back here, not really, I never had the goal of coming back here, but it just turned out that there was an opportunity. So I came. So I've always thought it was interesting that, I always wanted to study guitar, and I started here, but there really wasn't a guitar teacher. So the reason I left, was because there was no teacher. But eventually I became that reason, and I ended up getting the job here. So I ended up, filling the void that was here. And I was actually the first full-time guitar faculty here back then it was UTPA. And yeah, and then I did that for forever. I was just a guitar faculty member until like 6 years ago.
Oh, that's really cool. Is that how long you've been the director of the School of Music then, for 6 years?
Yes, for 6 years I've been the director.
And what are some of your duties in that role?
I do everything. literally. Yeah, you're responsible for everything, really. You know, the schedule of classes, and it's quite complex when you factor in the two campuses, and you have to make a schedule that will allow all students to be able to complete their classes. So it's a very complex, just the schedule. So that's why when we got a schedule that worked, we kind of stuck with it, and there's a schedule that doesn't really change. So that's the reason sometimes students will ask me, hey, this class is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Is there any way it could be at 12? And I'm like, no. But on top of that, I have to take care of all the accreditation issues, which there's a lot of. I have to report to the NASM, which is the National Associations of Schools of Music, and ensure that all of our degree programs are up to national standards. I also have to respond to the dean. I have to respond to people above him. And I also have to respond to the faculty and to the students. So I'm like in the middle of everything, and I have to keep all the constituents happy, and and create an environment that we're all happy about, and we all, a place where we all want to be, and the students can learn and grow and get served and get the education that they need and deserve.
Sure. Is there any part of your job that you would consider to be your favorite aspect?
My favorite part is actually helping the students, also helping the faculty, and being able to listen to the students and the faculty, and to shape the direction of the school, and be able to push the school into a direction that we all are going to be happy with, and kind of like, because sometimes, like, for example, a student a few years ago came up to me. He's like, well, how come we don't have music business degree? I've also been asked, how come we don't have a music technology degree? So I would listen to all these comments, and I would say, well, we need to start doing these things, and we have. Now, this last year we added music composition, we added music technology, we actually added a mariachi degree, which is the only bachelor of music in mariachi in the whole country.
Oh, wow.
So these are really unique things. And this year we're going to work on creating a curriculum for music business degree, or entrepreneurship, some type of degree like that. And I think it's important that we create a school that's complete, that has, offerings for many different interests. And that way students won't have to go anywhere else, because we have top-notch faculty. So, we need to offer all the degrees and keep everyone here, keep the talent here. There's so much of it, right?
Sure thing.
And attract from other places also.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's awesome. Do you have any advice for music students right now, especially during this very unusual year? And along with that, any special advice that you would give to any first-year music majors?
Well, general advice for, this time we're in, I would say, take advantage of the fact that, we're kind of isolated and we have to stay home. Take advantage of that and use it to study your instrument, whatever it is, your main emphasis of your degree. Use it to study, because the time to study and to get good is in these these years. These first 4 years of college that's the foundation for the rest of your career. And a lot of the you really have to solve your technical musical problems. They have to be solved now. So use that time wisely. For first year students, my advice would be really, 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 focus on theory, on sightseeing, because those are the foundations for the rest of your career. And if you have those tools, you can go anywhere. I'm on it. I would say that, ear training is the most important thing that you're going to learn in school. And it's something that you're going to need to always make sure that your ear is in shape, because if you can't hear, you can't fix the problem. So you really have to have a really sharp ear, and that's something to this day I get all these ear training apps and just listen to them.
If you ever want to join one of my classes for fun, let me know.
I know, yeah, I should. I'm kind of a geek like that, but I get these ear training apps. I'm just listening to them, and my wife looks at me. She's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Don't study. What are you doing?" I'm like, oh, "It's fun."
Well,
so that's advice I would give.
That's great advice.
That's great. Thank you. So kind of stemming off from the ear training software and app conversation, tell us about a hobby you have. Maybe not necessarily related to work, but something you like to do in your spare time, if you have any.
I don't have a lot of spare time, but when I love learning about culture. I love traveling. I love, learning about different places, going to different places. I love learning languages. When I would drive a lot, when we were in face-to-face, I would drive to Brownsville a lot, and I always would listen to these podcasts and, just different languages and just try to pick up as much as I could, and, not let that time be wasted time, and so that was my hobby, and I still love to do it. I think it's great. So yeah, anything dealing with other cultures and learning about them, I think I love that.
All right, yeah.
What languages do you speak, by the way? I know you speak, obviously, English and Spanish.
Yeah, I speak English, I speak Spanish, and I speak Italian.
Oh, all right.
That's really cool. All right, well, I don't think we have any more questions for you, but thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we really appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and wrap up here. We're gonna just share our contact information again, just to make sure if anyone needs to get in touch with us. So as you know, my email is there at the top. You can email me any questions you have about the music program. Charlie's email is there if you have questions about music research or library materials in general. More questions about general research can be given to research and instruction. And of course, our podcast email, if you have any suggestions for topics or anything that you want to share with us. Of course, you can always comment below the video or, on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you see it. And we'd love to hear from you. And so, yeah, I hope you guys are having a great week. You're doing well, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good week.
Thank you, Dr. Martinez.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure.